Okay, so the first thing it says, and I'm already like rolling my eyes because it says, start the day with a happy thought and carry it with you throughout the day. That's how I can observe I want you to be happy day. Okay. Anybody have responses to that? Because I have an eye roll that I carry around with me when anybody tells me, start the day with a happy thought. Of course, we all want to be able to start the day with a happy thought. For some of us, that comes easier than others. So what do those of us who this isn't a natural inclination, how do we handle this? Is there no hope for happiness because we can't start the day with a happy thought?
Goes in the direction of positive thinking. Oh, think positive. No, I rather think in reality.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's my initial thought too. It's like this positivity and like, think this and be this. Maybe that doesn't happen automatically, but does that mean that I don't have any hope of finding happiness eventually? Because that's a terrible message, I think.
I think that's just a part of your learning curve. You have to go through it in order to see what works for you. But if you're not observant over the results, then you're just going to keep repeating the same pattern. Whereas if you are observant and you tried something different and had different results, then you might try it more, then leading to coming to a conclusion that, wow, that really does work. But without the opportunity to give the experiment, the space for the experiment, right? That's the win, is allowing that little crack for the experiment to take place and to actually take your own notes to see you're full of shit, right? Or no, you know what? That actually, wow, I totally thought he was full of shit or she was full of shit, but I made the space for the experiment, and the results are in, and they are XYZ. So it's the opportunity to give ourselves the space, one, to make mistakes, two, to experiment and allow those mistakes, because you're looking for the results. And the results are the true answers, because those are the ones that we physically see, because we started the allowing of it, right? Which then brought us to the end result. And it's our experiment, not somebody else. Somebody may have offered it to us, but it's our chance to take it upon and give it a shot. And that's the science experiment, right?
There's something you said there which made me think why I have a problem with the statement Erica read out. Happiness is a feeling, it's an emotion. You cannot think yourself into an emotion.
Exactly.
So, Brett, yeah, we need to have the experience and we have to play with it. What gives us those feelings, right? I cannot get up in the morning and say, I have a happy thought now, so I will be happy during the day. It's a feeling. But if I have enough time to sit down and have my 2 cups of tea, I start the day fairly happy because it was stress-free. I get into it nice and easy. I had my 2 cups of teas. I feel good. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I think trying to think, right, what's a happy thought? What's a happy thought? That it lends itself to not having it. Whereas if, as a complete example, like Erica's first thought of the morning is, what's Smokey up to? And you look across and, he's doing some goofy dog sleeping thing. Then the emotion, the feeling of happy, it's like, more likely to follow you. But like Abby said, I'm going to think happy.
Exactly. Well, the second you're saying that, I'm putting myself in, and we can use me as the example because I think it's become quite obvious that I am the one that is always on the contrary of this stuff. It's like, no, I cannot, if I'm like, because it is an emotion. If I wake up and I'm just not, it doesn't come to me, and I sit here and I'm like, okay, I got to think of a happy thought. My nervous system is already ramped up. I'm in full on, holy shit, now I have to have the pressure of finding a happy thought. And then I find a happy thought, but I know this ain't a fucking happy thought. Like, who am I kidding? I'm walking around like in conflict with myself. So now I have to convince myself that this is a happy thought, that I'm actually happier than I think I am. Like, what? This doesn't work for me. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
So is it the wording? Because what if it was just a good thought? Or like, is it the wording? It's just something positive to start the day, right? It's something like, find the wording or the language that works for you, but something that puts a smile on your face. It could be, I don't know, Jared doing good, or something that puts a smile on your face, and all of a sudden that one little smile gets to exist for that moment, which then might lend its time to another little smile later in the day that normally wouldn't be there, because you're already in the pattern of whatever. Fucking happy? What the fuck? How do you think happy? You know what I mean? So what's the language for you on
I don't
positive
think it's a language thing. I'm reading this and I'm tapping into what it feels like for me and why there's such resistance is what's coming up. And I think it's because I want to say, don't tell me what to do, man. Like, don't tell me how to fucking start my day. Like, stop, just stop. Like, and I'm speaking, and I'm sure there are people out there that may feel the same way. Like, stop shoving down my throat that I have to start the day happy, that I need to be grateful, that I need all these things. Because I get a visual of me, la 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 la, skipping through my day, and I'm like, that ain't me, man. Like, that is just not gonna be me. So let's be real here.
None of us, even our listeners, think that is you. I am curious to know what their next suggestion.
The next one is, I'll read through them all so we don't get stuck here. So it says, make someone smile. How can I make someone? I can't fucking physically make somebody smile, right?
Sure you can.
No, you can't. Make someone smile, give a flower, or tell a silly knock-knock joke. Then there's one.
I hate knock-knock jokes. Don't you dare try that with me.
Right.
If you come in your spare bedroom next Christmas at 7 a.m. and tell me a knock-knock joke, you're going to find a happy way to the dentist.
But what if I had a flower? Would that change? Here, I have a flower. Knock-knock.
No,
I mean,
the flower might be inserted somewhere. I mean, that might make you happy, I guess, depending on where the flower ended up.
So then it says, buy the person's coffee standing in line behind you, which I've done that before. And I like to do that because that's more of a pay it forward kind of, hey, I have extra. This is just cool. This just might be a nice little, hey, have a good day. Like, I can't make you happy. I don't know if that's going to affect your life or not, but it's a nice gesture, right? Back to the kindness, thoughtfulness. Then they say, remind your kids how much you love them. And I'm thinking, just on this day? What? I'm supposed to do that all the time, right? Like, remind them. But the reminding them verbally isn't what gets through. It's the showing up. It's the action behind how you show them you love them. Then it said, this one's the best. So imagine this. You're telling me to start the day with a happy thought, right? Is the first concept. Then they tell me, leave a sticky note for a coworker telling them to have a spectacular day, have a happy day, and maybe leave a cough drop. I don't know. But for me, if I came into work and there's a sticky note on my desk by somebody that says, have a spectacular day with a smiley face, I'm going to be like, who the hell put this?
I am so making a phone
Get
call.
away from my desk. Like, what is
and
this?
have a sticky note put on the desk and set a camera up, because that is going to be great. I can see us crushing it up. I'll show you happy day.
I'm going to be like, what? Like, to me, that is, and maybe this is the ultimate point. All of these things, and there's a few other ones, you're assuming, A, that someone doesn't have a spectacular day normally, right? Or you're assuming that I need a fucking Post-it note to tell me how to have my day. Like, get out of here. Just stop with that.
I mean, knowing the complex relationship you have with your file guy coming to your desk.
Oh, my God.
And doing his job.
No.
I think that if he were to come and leave you a big smiley face Post-it note where your files that you don't want him to touch were, I think you'd be spectacularly happy, wouldn't you?
Are you cracked? Are you cracked right now? So, okay, another coworker story. This true story, right? We whatever. We have stuff on the desk. And he's done this before. He's come over, he takes stuff, and I tell him, you can't just, if I'm not there, you can't just take stuff because you don't know what you're taking. It might be sitting there for a different reason than what you ultimately think, right? That's number one. Number two, nobody should be going to anybody else's desk and taking anything that's on there without them knowing that you're doing it, right? I even have a sign that says stay away with his name on it because I don't want him. And I love him. He's a great guy. But he did it. And I came into work yesterday and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, I don't know how many times, talk about not being listened to and like not taking me seriously. And he came over in the morning and I'm like, dude, stop taking shit off my desk. Just stop doing it. You don't know what you're taking. Just stop. And he was like, oh, cut it out. I'm like, you cut it out. And he just kept going, right? So at the end of the day, I said, goodbye, have a good weekend. He's like, I know that you're going to be apologizing, right? I'm like, no, I thought you were going to be apologizing to me. I'm not apologizing to you. Have a good weekend. Like, and that's the end of it. But seriously, I find it intrusive, this kind of stuff, being told what to do and how to do it, right? Have a spectacular day. Really?
You just don't like being told what to do. That's what it comes down to. And we already figured that out because you said that before, right? So in looking in from somebody else's, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? And somebody thinking enough to put a note because they're just thinking about you and wanting you to have a spectacular day, not necessarily telling you have to, right? But you were a thought in their mind and they took the time to write it on a post-it note and leave it on your desk where you're being told what to do. There's something about because this came up in a past conversation that we had, right? It's just that sharing of that time and looking from somebody else's view. Like, is that person actually trying to tell you how to have your day? Or did they take the time out of their day to wish you, right? Would it be better if they worded it? So, well, there it is. So for you, it's the wording thing. It's the way it's phrased.
Well, yeah, wishing you a good day is different than have a spectacular. This to me equates no differently than if you come in contact with someone and they say to you, you should smile more. Like, F off. You don't know what somebody's going through or what kind of day they've had before they got to work. You just don't know. So it's presumptuous and assumption. Like, I just don't like it for you to say, have a great day. Like, you don't know if I just heard some bad news about something and I'm carrying it with me, and you just don't know. So I find it to be like really prescriptive and simplistic, this kind of shit, to actually achieve what happiness really means. So don't leave me notes unless you're going to say, I'm wishing you the best day possible. That's the language that I think we'd all be wise to say to everybody we come in contact with.
But that's being more aware. Not everybody is that aware, right? So for me, I see the step being made, and maybe that language, and this is why I hate texting, right? This is why I hate texting, because I could be coming from such a nice way, and then you get to go fuck yourself, or you get, why'd you say that? And they get all angry. It's like, say what? Like, I meant it this way. Like, the words that's why I hate texting, because it's just words. And if you're in a bad mood, you can take that any way you choose to. So I'd rather pick the phone up and be like, hey, and share it. And I can hear it right then and there that you're not happy with it. And I can say, well, maybe I worded it wrong because that's not the response I was looking for. I'm not saying that you're having a great day or you don't have something bad going on, right? I have an opportunity to be with you because of the listening and hearing where you are and how you received it. I can then respond to it, because if it was the way I wanted and intended, then I wouldn't respond to anything different.
I don't know. To me, the message is, this is what I get. And I don't know if I'm alone in it, that's fine. But when someone says you should smile more, or, oh, it's not so bad, cheer up, or, hey, have a great day, have a spectacular, it's not terrible. They don't know anything about what I'm dealing with. And the message is, I'm learning indirectly. I'm not ever going to talk, like, I can't talk to this person, even if I wanted to, about something, because unless I'm happy, there's no space there for me to really be honest about what I'm feeling, because you're telling me I need to smile more without even caring to know what's behind it. It's lonely.
We're right back at the communication skills we had in the last episode. Right back.
Mm-hmm.
It's making assumptions. It's making presumptions. And we right back and being clear with our messages. Because as Erica said, there's a big, big difference. Somebody saying, I wish you a happy day, or I wish you a spectacular day, or have, because that's a command.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the language, it's in the wording. And if we're good in communication, we're tuned into the words, we pick up on it. I don't take words for granted, usually. And I probably got really attuned to it when I went to my cancer journey, where everybody was full of advice. Everybody was suddenly a medical expert. And all I heard from people, well, what you have to do now, and what you should do now, and this is how you should go about it, and you have to do that, and you must do this. And I was like, you don't know at all how I'm reacting to this news, so don't make assumptions. I don't want to do that, and this is not the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So just shut it.
Exactly.
I appreciate somebody coming at me and saying, well, you don't know how. And I'd be like, you know what? I respect that. But that's a part of the conversation, is you having the space to say what you need. Then that gives me the opportunity to look at my wording and know that you're somebody who actually listens to the wording, because not everybody listens to the wording, right? Then I know, now talking to Gabby, well, now I know I have to be clearer when I'm talking to Gabby, because she actually listens to the words. For me, like if I'm writing a text, I get so into the text because I read the words and see what it comes. So for me, it's like ridiculous on writing something on a text message, because you can't hear my voice. So for me, I'm just like, forget it. Not even going to bother with it. And I kick it to the curb. I'm old school. I like the voice, right? I like hearing people because I can sense something going on, right? And I can hear those little things that the text is just cold. Text is just straight words. I like the feelings, the emotions, and hearing where the person is and how it was received. So I know that it was received the correct way. It's kind of like the checklist running up. Yep, they got it the way it was meant to be. Oh, that's not the way I intended it. Right? And I can then do something where a text message, hey, that's what it is. Enjoy it.
No, you're right. I have one friend who has gone very funny in certain ways and views, but then sometimes he's sarcastic, and I can't tell any. And he always texts, but I cannot tell anymore if he meant that now serious or sarcastic, because he would write the same way. I was like, and I actually would text back, are you serious about this? Right? And he goes, yes. Sometimes he goes, yes. Sometimes like, no, that was sarcastic. I can't tell. It's the same words in a text message. As you said, it's cold.
Yeah.
I think the real danger in what we were talking about before, right, with this, start with a happy thought, do this, do that. And if those of us that can't get there, right, that struggle sometimes with that kind of thing, we're interpreting that as, damn, there's something not right with me, right? I must be a miserable person. Well, no, you're not a miserable person, but it's curiosity underneath. What is it that's preventing you from being able to have a spectacular day on a Post-it note without losing your shit, right? Like, maybe I'm just struggling with some part that's getting in the way with me, but ultimately I'm not an unhappy person. There's just something that's stopping me. So I think there's people out there, I can't be the only one, that get the message like I must just be, angry. I'm just an angry little person and I'm just miserable all the time. And I don't like to be told what to do. Like some of that may be true, but I'm not inherently an unhappy person, right? Like I can reach a level of happiness. It evades some of us though sometimes.
I think it's invitational. We, especially with the embodied coaching, we really try to stay away from operational language and assumption that the person is going to agree. Especially like, and I know some of us work with groups. It's like, right, what we're going to do next is, and you're just assuming their cooperation, and all of this stuff should really be an invitation. Here's an idea. Let's do this and see if it works. For you, Erica, in particular, an invitation to see something in a different light or to change an emotion is very different, clearly very different from somebody apparently exercising control over you, which can be through the use of language or you just interfering with your shit. And that would make all the difference because, you say, oh, I'm cranky. And would you be cranky if you went through an entire day of invitations to, rather than this is what you're going to do with your next half an hour block of time, or this is what's expected of you then and there. And you must be happy at 1:30 because you're on your lunch break and your co-workers will need to see you smile. It's probably more understandable that you are someone who experiences crankiness. I'm not saying you're a cranky person, when you see it from that light.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to have a day of experimenting with that, right? Like give me the space to do what I need to do and like invite me to do certain things. I don't know. But the last thing on this list is consider someone else's happiness from their point of view. And I think for me, that's ultimately what it comes down to, right? Like, because we started this with the idea of making someone else happy, which we all are in agreement we cannot do. It's not within our power to do. And we should not be trying to do that, right? Because it's detrimental. But considering someone else's happiness, especially those closest to you, I think is the purest way to show up in the way that you need to in order to, if your ultimate goal is to make the people you care about happy, the only way to do it. Like you have to consider, what do they need to make them happy? Some people need grand gestures. Other people just need the garbage to get taken out. Some people need, dinners at fine dining restaurants every weekend. Others just need a foot rub. Who knows? I don't know, but it's up to each one of us to consider those that we care about and what would make them happy. The way we think that they would be happy, not what makes us feel happy doing for them.
You reminded me of something I saw the other day, and I'll put the link in the comments because I don't like to take people's work and not acknowledge them, but I can't remember this guy's handle. But he was talking about guys in particular who feel taken advantage of. They think their partner's after their money. And one of the things he said was, dude, you balk when they say they want to go to a restaurant that's got functioning lights. And it just made me laugh so much because it's like, that would be a basic for me. If I was going to, I don't have a lot of experience dating in the last century, but you go into a restaurant that has functioning lights, unless I'm in a war zone or some place of natural disaster, I would take that as a basic for the other person's continued happiness. So maybe taking assumptions out of what will make people happy, and not injecting our own thoughts about the things that make them happy would be a lot of an easier way for us to achieve the end result of helping them find happiness.
It's not that complicated. We're not that complicated, people in general, right? Like, listen, that's all.
Closing thoughts, Gabby.
I think what's really important for me out of all of the conversation is remembering that happiness is just an emotion. It comes and goes. And that's all it is. So the real conversation would be, how do we find peace, contentment, fulfillment? Happiness is so shallow. You can be happy 10 minutes in the morning by having a nice coffee, miserable 15 minutes later, and happy again at lunch because you're able to I'm able to stuff my face with something nice in a chocolate bar. You know what I mean? It's so fleeting. So the whole, I think that real contentment and fulfillment and peace in life is so much deeper and takes so much more to it than let's be happy and let's make another person happy. It's so shallow. It's just an emotion. It comes and goes. Full stop.
Maybe our obsession with chasing fleeting emotions like happiness is what leads to our downfall. I'm much more about ongoing satisfaction than I would be the happiness that comes from somebody giving me their last Rolo, for instance. Erica, why are you? What about someone giving me their last Rolo?
It's very specific. I don't know. Rolo is a super specific choice. Like, I don't know. It's funny.
That shows you the power of advertising. Do you love somebody enough to give them your last Rolo? And over successive relationships, my answer to that has proven to be no. Mic drop.
I will say, closing thought would be, do your experiments, know what works for you, and give it a try. Even if it doesn't sound like it's worded the right way, find a way and observe what the wording style would be for you in order for you to take in that invitation, right? And do your experiments. I think that's key.
Okay, I was waiting to see if Erica was going to unmute, but she's busy typing on our notes, I think.
I'm typing our hashtags. Wait till I share them with
Typing
you.
the hashtag. Don't love someone enough to give them their last Rolo. Right, we will see you in the not too distant future, lovely listeners and viewers. We hope that this has brought some happiness / joy / fulfillment to you. And until the next one, I'm inviting you to be happy.